So once you have watched the video for how to run crosstabs in SPSS and you've run your data, you're going to get something that looks kinda, I say kinda like what you have here in front of you. You'll have a little more numbers in there and a little more, boxes, but basically everything is going to be just about the same. What I want to show you is how to understand crosstabs. I think it's a little, the ending is easier, but the beginning is a little tougher. So bear with me and focus and make some notes, especially for your review. And you'll find out that if you're actually doing a review in the class, that it really tells a lot about the questions you ask, and it gives you more background to why your participants answered a certain way. Okay. Next week's class will advance this to a chi-squared, and it will add to this. So I'm using some data I had before that I've already written up. And basically, we're running two variables, gender and coaches influence my academic performance. You can see that as you go through, you have a count and a percentage of the total. Of course, here's your gender with male and female, and up here is coaches influence my academic performance. You have strongly disagree, agree, and agree. These are the three answers that came out. There were 5, but these were the only 3 that were answered. Okay? Here you have a percentage of the total. Okay? Now, if I can give you a visual picture, okay, when you lay out the 5 words, strongly disagree to strongly agree, your middle one is neutral. In this one, we have strongly agree, and disagree. So in this case, the agree is in the middle. So as you look at your numbers, if you have all 5, that neutral number in the middle, okay, is kind of like a mean. It's not a real mean, but it's a mean. Okay, on one side you have agree, and one side you have disagree. You can disagree or strongly disagree. You can agree or strongly agree. So you draw that line down the middle. So in this case, we're drawing a line between strongly disagree and strongly agree and strongly agree. So there's this line right here in the center, okay, is our dividing point. Now we had a count means how many people. We had 7 people agree and 5 people not agree, equaling 14. Okay, now you have the percentages here. So we're looking at the agree percentages because there's 12 people of the 14, okay, that answered agree or strongly disagree. So basically the group agreed, especially the male group agreed, and so as you can see, so did the female. You add the 2 percentages together to get down to this line. 40% of males agreed with the question. Okay. Then you have these 2 numbers. 53% of the females agreed with the question. And then if you have a total here, 93.4% agreed with the question of coaches influence my academic performance. And so this is how you write it up. Participants, when asked whether their coaches influenced their academic performance, results showed that 16, 53% of the females, and 12, 40% of the males agreed with the idea that their coaches influenced their academic performance. Therefore, 93.4% of the population agreed their coaches influenced their academic performance. So we have an agreement of both. One is higher than the other. Okay, one of them is higher than the other, but as a whole, the whole group did. So let's move on to another example. Gender versus I feel my coach values academics. You can see again that we only have the 3. They either strongly disagreed, agreed, or strongly agreed. The line in the middle, you'll see the percentages, and then basically you have these numbers, and then here is your write-up. Okay. So as you can see here, you have the same type of write-up as you did there. So it stays in the same pattern. Now, the next level is to look at the questions. Now, you looked at the questions individually. Now you'll look at them collectively. Let's say you have 5 questions. You question 1 versus question 2, question 1 versus question 3, Question one. What you're looking for is a larger conclusion. Okay? So let me give you an example. When we did the steroid test in my first year of teaching this class, the first conclusion was this, that the students were not taking steroids. Great, that was fabulous. Okay, the next question came out is, do you believe you needed to take steroids by your junior year? And the participants overwhelmingly said yes. So they weren't taking steroids, but they believed to get a college scholarship, they had to take it starting by their junior year. Okay? And then the last one was, were you being pressured by your coaches, parents, or other teammates to take steroids? And the answer to that was no. So they believed they needed to take steroids, but they weren't taking steroids, and they were all juniors and seniors. And they weren't being pressured by anybody. So it was a great thing. And he wrote about 10 pages just on those 3 questions that were put together. So an examination of the participants' perceptions on how coaches focus on academics, the participants reported they strongly agreed in both items of whether their coaches value 80% and influence 56% of the academics. Now, this is something else you can look at. It'll be posted in there. But, okay, you want to look and see which questions mix with another question to draw a bigger conclusion. Because if you think about it, when you ran your one sample t-test and your independent sample t-test, it told you it was significant or not. It kind of gave you a small conclusion. But when you start to look at the actual questions, it answers the questions of why it was significant, why your conclusions really mean something. So that's what you're going to do. So when you do your write-ups, this is what you do. Do not put in the boxes in your assignment, just the words. So you're just going to have these words right here, the write-up. I don't need the colored stuff. That's for you to show where you get the information. But this is your write-up, okay? So you follow the directions, and you'll have 5 separate write-ups that look just like this for this week. Thank you.